One thing that often I was told that my people often look solitary, you know, they are sort of lost, stranger to each other by themselves. And in a sense, this is the condition of human beings. We walk on the street, and most people we don't pay attention to. However, there are some people that catch our eye, and sometimes we chat with them and so on. So, okay. A creative person is always a loner, which is true only in the sense that in his work he is an outsider depicting, but he may have a family and love his wife and children. He is not a loner in everyday life, but in his art he may be a loner and depict certain loneliness. But basically the solitude of a person in life is one of the conditions of human being. I think that creativity is a process of establishing a contact with the outer world. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Serge Hollerbach. I'm a painter. I was a painter all my life. In exactly 3 months from now, I'll be 92 years old. And unfortunately, I have macular degeneration in both eyes, but I can still paint. So what I'm going to do now is a group of people, call it maybe a crowd. Even when I had good eyesight, I never did detailed drawing, filling it out with color. I first gave it just a basic shape, and then I would improvise. So here we go. This would be this man on the right. My teacher used to say that the human being is a body with legs and arms, crowned with the head. So the head comes last. I'm going to do this suitcase here. Suppose I'll do this. Having this visual impairment, of course, I can't see details, so I rely on large forms, large shapes, and movements. I think I should connect them more. When they walk, they overlap, they cut each other, they are interconnected. Artists who see big shapes squint, artists who have good eyesight. So since I see only big shapes, I have a kind of a permanent squint. I think partial loss of vision freed me from paying attention to detail. It liberated me since I can't do detail, so I may as well concentrate on something else to compensate. So probably more expression and more daring, perhaps. Since I can't do detail, so I may as well express myself. I thought maybe I can do abstraction, maybe there was an abstract artist lurking in me. But when I did it, what does it mean? I'm not an abstract painter.
but I enjoy painting. Even if I couldn't do much, if I were not satisfied with what I'm doing, still the very mechanical process of applying paint on canvas, this is something that is part of your process. And by the way, modernism and action painting and New York School of Abstract Expressionism stressed that physical aspect of painting, that it's the energy, the physical energy you exert is part of the painting. Of course, I don't strip myself naked and don't roll on a canvas with paint on my body. That I don't do. But the physical exercise, the physical aspect of painting is very much there for me. I'm going to add, I think you need someone in there to, this is another figure. I don't know what it is at this point, but I'm just trying to create shapes. It's not yet a crowd, not completely. Maybe in here. Since I was in my early teens, I drew and was considered talented. And at the age of 16, I decided to become an artist. It was never a question for me that I should be anybody else. Also, sort of artistic inclinations in my family. Not my father was an engineer. My mother loved art. She was not an artist, she was a teacher, but she studied history of art, Dutch painting. She was the first one who told me there's a painter by the name of Rembrandt. I went to the High School of Art in Leningrad, but it was just for 6 months, and then came the war. I was brought to Germany by Nazis to work during the war. After the war, there was a huge refugee camp, and I was employed, American Red Cross GI canteen, as a sketch artist. I was sitting in the corner, and there was a poster above me in English saying, "Get your portrait sketched by Serge, free." And between clients, I sketched sleeping GIs. That was a wonderful school, learning to do folds. There's a certain system how fabric bends and creates loops and so on that I could study very well. That was my sketch class. This is cobalt blue. Yes, that's okay. I didn't want to go back to Russia. My family was suffering during Stalin's purges, and besides, I just wanted to see the free world. In 1946, I enrolled at the Munich Academy of Fine Arts and studied there 3.5 years until this American lady found me a sponsor living in Wilton, Connecticut. I came as a gardener. I came to New York in 1950, and I always lived on the West Side. I love the West Side, and I also sketch dogs, and I claim that West Side dogs are less pedigreed but more intelligent than the pedigreed dogs on the East Side. People have asked me what traumas did they experience having gone through the war and so on, and labor camps and so on, and I can't tell any particular traumas, but what I maybe never developed, to have a nice apartment, a nice furniture, and so I guess that's because I lost my home when I was 11 years old, when my father was arrested and we had to leave. And brand new things are not that interesting for me. So I have that tendency to truth of life. Life is a process of wear and tear. Artists love worn out things, and they love old buildings, old clothes, ruins, because they are showing signs of life, of what happened. I prefer to sketch working people because their postures, their movements, their clothing reflect all the difficulties and times of their lives. I guess a painter is somewhat like a novelist. I develop characters, but they are my friends. I empathize with them. If I'm sufficiently successful, then the emotional impact or projection of her paintings is obvious. Okay, now, suppose, I'm just thinking aloud, I make this girl's pants red. Now let's see what happens. It probably will mix a little bit with... A painter is a person who sees the world around him as colors. I need some white to... Of course, I'm basically a graphic artist. I see the world as shapes and lines. What made me like drawing with line was something that my professor said to me when he saw me doing a drawing. He said, "What are you doing? You are shading, you're sketching to cover up your inability to see. Drawing is line." And I thought line was from God, and the line became God. And line is God. And of course, all art started with line, cave drawings. So there's a lot of mystery about art, and the mystery begins with the line. I think there is some kind of an empty space here. I don't see her shoulder very well. And maybe this guy has also a little color. Now, for the cast shadows, I have my favorite color here, and I hope I'll find it. It's called Accident Purple. I prefer to call my paintings sketches. First impression is very, very significant, and done right, sketched right. It contains, I think, as much as very elaborate psychological portrait. I was very pleased to find an American expression, body language, which is a very, very important thing in figurative painting. How people sit, stand, how they walk. It tells about a human being more than expression of the face. The saying is that eyes are the mirrors of the soul. I don't believe in it. Eyes can lie, body does not. Well, you know, at this stage, I think I got the basic view of what I want to do. I would, at this point, I would stop, again, contemplate, and slowly using this gadget. This is, by the way, this lens is from a lamp, and I attach it to a ruler, and I can see. And when I come close, I can see details and so on. They should be her shoulders. Somewhere. Well, I put my paintings again on the easel, and again, I analyze it. I got what I wanted. The next steps, and many, many more steps, would be to clean it up, to connect the hand with the bag, or to do something, some details. But I'm not going to do it now. I think probably this is just good enough for what I wanted to say at this moment. General Douglas MacArthur said that old soldiers never die, they only fade away. I think it applies to painters. They don't die, they fade away, and I'm in the process of fading away a little bit, but you know, it's a challenge. So it's... I have an assistant, my good friend and fine painter, Olga Nenezhivina, who is going to help me. Olga, I need some black gesso. So, yes, hold it. And I want to fill it. So now you have a smaller, no, give me a smaller brush. Feet. I'm going to develop it just a little later. I'll just put the head, it should be a little higher than this one. This would be a group of people. Once a painter, you're always a painter. Even if I lose sight completely, I would still do some good doodling on a paper or something. You know, It's an instinct, and also it keeps you mentally sharp, I guess. So I think this would be a group of people against some you have to somehow to join them so they are not too separate. Well, here I guess I'll just do this. Somewhere that if I had a good eyesight, I would, of course, develop the arm, and so she's walking. Now, this is still somehow too low. Something red. And yes, this is the small brush. Because yes, that's black, right? Mm-hmm. Well, this is just an idea that it's not because what I would normally do. I mean, the quality is because it's not the same, but still I'm enjoying doing it. It's still my people. I say also that these are all my friends, I don't know them personally, but they are my friends, and I live among them. And so let it be the way it is. That's what I could do at the present time with my macular degeneration, and also with a few cataracts which are growing. But basically, it's the idea. It's Broadway, and people, and there's hot pants here, and hot shoes here, and a dog, and a suitcase. But I think at this point, I would just say that this is it. These are Broadway people, and they're all my friends. And I think it's what I could do at this point.
Well,
it's always amazing. Thank you so much.
What I do when I see a person passing by, I try to remember the shape and the height. So let's say there is a heavy-set person going, and so I'm just doing this. Little things cheats or tells a small lie and so on. In drawing is the same thing. You should be honest from the very beginning to the very end in drawing. You don't start doing and then something. That's also very important was drawing hair. So you have to do all locks of curls of hair. You don't make a mess. You don't shade it as a mess. You should see how hair grows, because according to the professor, the way the hair grows on the person's head is also part of this person's personality. A curly hair, straight down hair, нужно уходить.
Я думаю, да, они вас только мучить не будут. У меня урок в 4:15, я не
Да,
думаю,
ну я думаю, да, Да, это вот здесь на углу, да?
Вы хоть перекусили что-то с утра?
Да, я...